Hey guys, it's Lauren. I just wanted to make a quick video today for you on the blog to show you how I use and schedule my social media posts. There's a lot of conversation, especially if you're just starting in business and you're bootstrapping and you don't have enough money or time. Well, you need to have one or the other, but a lot of people say, I don't have enough money. And so the solution to that is to invest time into whatever it is that you're doing. And if social media is something that you don't have time to keep up with, or you don't have time to consistently put forth an effort on, scheduling can be a really great solution to that. So I'm going to show you today how I schedule my tweets and also how I schedule my Facebook. I actually don't use Buffer to schedule my Facebook. I use Facebook's integrated software just because it's easier, and I'll tell you why. But I just wanted to do like a little quick bit on social media and why social media is important and how to schedule it for your business. So this video is mostly targeted at people who maybe 1 to 3 years in business, kind of just starting out, not a lot of money, but potentially a lot of time or a lot more time. I know you're already busy. I know you're worried about getting clients, which is really important. And I know you're busy just trying to figure out your business systems, all things that are really, really important. But social media can be a really, really great way to build relationships. My favorite way, as you all know, to build relationships is through live events. It's just where I shine and what I love to do. But at the same time, when I go home after the event, I'm by myself in my house. As you can tell, I live and work at home, and I live alone in an apartment building with, like 100 other people. But anyway, so I don't have the chance to connect with people, and the easiest way to do that is on social media. So just a quick brief intro. If you don't have a huge social media following and you don't know how to start, it's really good to meet people in person if you can. If you live in a place where you can meet people who are on social media, who are in your target market and target audience, follow them on social media and then either ask for coffee or a phone call or a Skype date. And start building those relationships. You might even go to a networking event and someone says, hey, here's my business card. You can say, awesome, I'd love to follow you on social media and maybe we can connect afterwards. That's another really great way to just get started. That's really how I grew my Instagram following. It was meeting people in person and then connecting with them after the event on social media. So my Instagram following isn't huge, my Twitter following isn't huge, but hopefully you guys are just starting out too and you have some questions about how to build your following. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to flip my screen around, I'm going to show you how I schedule my social media posts, and then I'm going to drop in just a couple of content pieces around why scheduling is important and some social media tips. So let me just share my screen really quick. Awesome, there we are. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. I should actually just log out. So this is the back end of Buffer. Buffer is the scheduling software that I use for Twitter. I haven't been super active on Twitter. However, based on kind of where I'm going this year and what I want to do and how to reach more people, I think I'm going to make Twitter more of a part of my strategy. And Twitter has worked for me in the past. I actually met Erica Madden, who I'm now guest posting on her blog on Wednesday, so tomorrow. About how to do an event or how to use an event to your marketing advantage. And I met her on Twitter, even though she lives in Bozeman, Montana, which is where I live. So you can meet people on Twitter, you can create really great relationships, and you can start building your business online from there. So I want to show you, this is what the dashboard looks like. Again, like I said, I use Twitter and I use Facebook. One of the things that I'm doing wrong right now, honestly, to point this out, is I have different images. My El Caselli events on Twitter, this is my image. My El Caselli on Facebook, this is my image. They should be the same, to be honest. You want people to remember your face because they might not remember your business name, but they might remember your face. So I should switch my Lauren Caselli Facebook to this photo so that it's consistent. But when you come in here, you'll enter your accounts, obviously Twitter, Facebook. You can do Google Plus or LinkedIn as well. I don't really, my audience really isn't on Google Plus and LinkedIn, so I'm not there that often. But Twitter and Facebook, definitely things that I use. Facebook, I would say my two, when I'm advising people who are just starting out, pick two and stick to them and get good at them and then move on. Instagram is something that I really love and has been a really great source of community and business building for me. Facebook is another one, and that's because I have a Facebook group. If you don't have a Facebook page and don't want to administer a Facebook group, that's totally fine. You don't have to. But I would say research all of the social media platforms, find the ones that you're the most comfortable using, and then stick with those. So today I'm going to show you about Twitter. So here's my Twitter one. Obviously, these are both verified, but when I click on Twitter, these when I'm scheduling, these are only going to my Twitter. So what happens is I click in here. I know I want to do my content. If I also want this to go to Facebook, I just click here. Obviously, if I had LinkedIn, there would be a LinkedIn button here and a Google Plus button here too. I could click those. However, I don't want to do that. Or I just don't use those two platforms that often. I don't really recommend using bulk scheduling like this. Some people do. I don't. And the reason for that is this. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all have different ways of pushing out content. So for example, if you ever see someone's business Facebook page connected to their Instagram account, and I do this too. So not to say that this is, you shouldn't do this, but when you read an Instagram post that's pushed into someone's Facebook page, it reads a little bit awkwardly, right? It's got like the @ sign and it's got some hashtags, and on Facebook, you don't really use hashtags that often. But it kind of looks awkward, even though it posts a picture, which is great. And sometimes it also cuts off the text. It's not really great for adding links. Usually you have to go back in and re-add the link. So I usually don't advocate cross-posting. I do it, obviously, to save time. But if you really are getting started and really want to drill into your social media strategy, I don't recommend cross-promoting across, the same setup for Twitter, the same setup for Facebook, the same setup for Instagram. I don't really recommend that. So that's why I'm going to unclick my Facebook, and this is only going to go out to Twitter. And the reason I like Buffer is because you get to schedule Twitter in advance. Twitter is very fast moving. As you know, a lot of people are like, I don't get Twitter, and that's fine. If you are trying to gain traction to grow an online business, Twitter is a really great place to go because you can connect with people really quickly. It's like public text messaging is what I call it. So when I'm doing my Twitter posts, I come in here, and I know that on blog post days, which I'm starting to post every day, but on blog post days, I have to tweet my blogs out at least 3 times, sometimes 4, just because Twitter moves so fast and people don't see it as often. So you have to constantly be pushing that stuff out. The nice thing about Twitter is it's only 140 characters, so you don't have to be super lengthy or super wordy. So I have a blog post that's going out today, which is this post. So I'm going to create some content. I don't have the link, obviously, because I haven't published it yet, but I don't have the content. So I'm going to show you, well, obviously it'll be up soon, but I'm just going to show you how I would do it. So the title of this video is how to use Buffer to schedule your tweets. That's pretty basic and straightforward. I usually like to be a little bit cuter, and I'll show you that in my next one. So what I'm gonna do is I also have a photo. I haven't created the photo image yet, but I always have a photo for all my blog posts. So I add my photo, click here, and then Wheel of Death. It must be because I'm running so many apps. So I did one actually. I'll do it for my yesterday, and then I'll just delete this tweet. So here's my image for yesterday's post. I talked about why Squarespace is better than WordPress. Adding images to Twitter is really, really helpful. It just helps with engagement. And the nice thing about this is, see, it kind of makes it into a little square for me, so I don't have to do that. Then what I would do is I would go over here to Squarespace. This is my blog post. I click on the social. Oops, that's not right. I don't do that. Sorry. Options, that's where it is. And I don't have the post URL yet because I haven't published it, but usually this post URL comes out. What ends up happening usually for me, and this is a side note, Squarespace will make me a custom one. I usually delete it and make that something a lot more easily searchable. So for example, I'm going to create my own custom URL. I'm going to say using Twitter for business, because that's something that somebody might Google search rather than like a big schlumpy long post. So then what I do is, unfortunately, Squarespace doesn't let me copy the whole thing, but then what I do is I go over here, I type in, oops, actually it's BossLadyBash.com. Sorry, BossLadyBash.com. Bloop. Twitter, using Twitter for Business. Oops, actually that's not it. I messed it up. It's blog, but I'm gonna delete this tweet anyway. But anyway, the nice thing about Twitter or Buffer is that it automatically shortens the link for you, and that can be really helpful when you're trying to save on characters. So here's my tweet. It's got my image. Those are the three good things, like shorten link, nice like caption, you know, attention getting headline, and then a photo. I add it to my queue. Cool. So now it's down. Oops, actually, can you see it? Yeah, you can. So then what I do is, just to make sure it worked, here are all my tweets scheduled for tomorrow. This is one that I actually, and I'll talk about this in a second. But here's what, here it is. Here's my how to use Buffer to schedule my tweet. I'm going to move it down here because I want this one to be in the morning. Because it's a blog post, I want that to go out in the morning. And yeah, and so what I do with that is I do those about 3 times a day. I don't ever use the same copy. So the next headline I might use, same image, or maybe a different image if I've created another one. Usually I don't, but an image, I would use this, this link or another one, and then, or sorry, another shortened one. It probably is the same link, but I would use the same link. And then I would do another cute caption that's more like, don't have any time, I can save you, you know, hours a day with scheduling your tweets, because it really does save me about an hour every single day, not having to go in and tweet. So yeah, the other types of tweets that I do, so whenever I do a blog post, I schedule it a bunch of times. If you only do 1 blog post a week, I would say schedule that maybe once on the day that it's posted, once or twice on the day that's posted, and then once every day for the rest of the week. That way your people are still getting access to the content, and you're consistently promoting it. Let's see. The other kinds of tweets that I do that I try to make sure that I do every day are, this one. It's called, let's see. So sorry, this tweet right here is called relationship building. So a lot of times on Twitter, people are like, well, I'm pushing out content, but nobody's interacting. Well, that's the part of the reason is you need to interact with other people. And unfortunately, you can't really do that unless you are spending a lot of time on Twitter, interacting and engaging with people. And so one thing I try to do every day is I try to pick an article that I've read online, and I try to tag the author in it, and then link to their post. And so I loved this article about building your business online without ads. So I'm tweeting the author of it. She's really awesome. You should follow her if you don't already. And then I linked to her article. It's a really good article. So hopefully Mariah will see it, and she will either like it or retweet it or give me a little shout out and say, hey, and that's where it starts. You know, that doesn't mean that we're going to be business besties because she's really busy and she's a big blogger. But if I do it consistently over the course of the next month or 2, she might take notice of me. And then if I wanted to do a joint venture with her, like a partnership or a webinar or something, she would probably be open to it because I've been building the relationship. Same thing with, again, Erica Madden of Olivia Media, who's also awesome, and she's a Bozeman girl too. But she created this really great blog post with how to create really easy blog post headlines, which I think is awesome. So again, and it's free, which is even awesomer. So again, I link to her, I link to her post, and then I tag her, and we've actually been chatting a little bit on Twitter and email and stuff, so she already knows who I am. But yeah, so I try to do at least one of those a day, and that helps build relationships. The other kinds of tweets that I like to do is, and I don't have any scheduled in here, but maybe I will right now, is just question asking tweets, just things like, hey, let's see, so for my event business, for a 1-day workshop, how much are you willing to spend? What would be too cheap? And, or I guess, what price point would be too cheap and make you think there wasn't a lot of value? Question mark. So I like to engage. Hopefully some people will respond to me. That's the point of asking questions on Twitter. So that's the third kind of tweet that I schedule out. Obviously this is too long, so I'm gonna have to shorten it. How much, I can just say how much would you spend? That's a lot easier. And then here I'm still on my count. So yeah, add to queue. So that's in there. Cool. So those are the 3 different kinds of tweets. Engaging and giving people, you know, kind of the chance to engage with you, tagging other people and trying to build relationships, and then pushing out your own content. So I would say you can tweet 5 to 6 times a day. That's probably a good amount. Buffer is free software, but it's only up to 10 tweets. So if you're publishing 5 to 6 tweets a day, you're only going to get through a day and a half. If you upgrade, you get unlimited. But you know, again, you have to see, you know, I love free things, especially because I'm not sure about Twitter yet. And so that's why I use the free program. Again, you know, if it gets to the point where my Twitter following grows and people love it, then maybe I would go forward and pay for it. And that way I could schedule all my tweets out on Sunday night. I could schedule a bunch of tweets. And then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But for right now, I'm just doing the free version. Some other cool features of this scheduling. Buffer does this optimal timing tool. It looks at your Twitter posts and it sees when people are the most active with you, and so it automatically schedules them for you. So it's showing me that people are the most active at 12:11 a.m. because people are up late, 10:13 a.m., 7:34 p.m., 10:13 p.m., and 11:48 p.m. So a lot of like late night, late night, and then kind of like mid-morning. And this makes sense if you think about it, right? Like, you know, people are at work during the day. People who are interacting with me are working and not necessarily spending a lot of time on Twitter. But you can also change your own times. If you want it to be like more regular, if you want it to be less regular, you know, whatever. So you can also delete them here. You just like click here and you can delete them. And then, oops, yeah, this is an upgrade. So if you wanted to do unlimited, you could click here. But I don't do that. Anyway, so that's how I use Twitter to schedule my tweets. If you wanted to use Facebook, again, Facebook has this. If you wanted to use Facebook, that's totally fine. So let me show you how I would do a Facebook post. So again, I would do a little bit of a longer text. Facebook is better for longer text and also photo. But I like to make my Facebook text really personal. So I would say something like, let me think. Let me go in here. Let me actually go into my content for the post that I'm writing. And I would probably just copy and paste what I have here. Boom, I would copy and paste that, going back to my buffer. So, and then on Facebook, I would probably kind of format it a little bit differently. Yeah, so then I would put the link, or say like read here to find out more. I would put the link in there. Is it in there? Nope, oops, sorry. So I would go in again and paste my link. Buffer would shorten it. I would probably add a photo again, and then I would add to queue, and then it would automatically publish it out for me. I don't usually use Facebook as much on this platform, although I could. I like to use it inside the software because sometimes, you know, when I'm tagging someone and I hit @ let's see, who do I follow? I think I might follow Mariah. It doesn't bring her up like it does on Twitter. So I usually have to go back into Facebook and tag her anyway. So I'm not going to add this one to the queue, but now you know how to do that. Cool. So if you have any questions, let me just flip back over. If you have any questions about this, just let me know. You can send me an email. If you really liked this video and you liked this article, I would really, really love it if you shared it on your social media and tagged me on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter @LCaselliEvents. And I'll see you next time. Bye.